The land for which we are stewarding sits on the site of a former nursery run by a man who had a passion for plants. Though the nursery has been retired for almost 3 years now, beautiful specimen plants remain dotted throughout the landscape. By the time we got here late last fall, a good portion of them had been overgrown, nibbled on by deer, or just extinguished by some act of nature. As we excavated old nursery equipment from the earth, we also uncovered a range of nursery escapees: Physocarpus, Penstemon, Alchemilla, Ajuga, Echinacea, and many others. We've spent the better part of a year now working hard on the land. Like sculptors, we chiseled the specimen trees out from the choking weeds, cut back their branches to let the earth's breath pass through their leaves, tucked them gently into new mulched beds, and relocated plants to more suitable locations. The home, for which will serve as the future communal center, opens up to a generous south-facing lawn, and in the distance sits a gorgeous white pine, a fir, and a Japanese maple. The trees were so potentially stately, so potentially sculptural, but the thigh-high grasses, rogue daffodils, and unruly honeysuckles competed for attention. We mowed back the area and removed some of the bare branches to reveal the garden bed's true potential. This garden bed would be a special garden bed. As I shared in my latest book, How to Make a Plant Love You, one spirit, particularly one who has loved and cared for their home, never seems to dissipate entirely. It's part of the beauty of taking on spaces that others have occupied. You layer onto them and create new stories, like the progression of a book's chapters, a stack of newsprint, or even an old scrapbook. We did not plant these trees, but we are benefiting from their beauty here, and they are a beautiful, living, breathing reminder of the man who did plant them, but who no longer walks this earth. Thus, we began our intention to create a memorial garden for the man who had a passion for plants. We worked with the shape of the previous bed and began to expand it, brought in some of the found stone to pay homage to the area's glaciated past, and took cues from the bluish and reddish hues and sharp shapes of the tree's needles and leaves. We replicated those colors and shapes in the garden bed below, but with plants of a different ilk, like sedums, sempervivums, festuca, calluna, juniperus, pelargonium, and lavandula, for example. Those that preferred drier feet were placed higher up the slope, whereas those that long for the taste of rain would find a home lower down the berm. Low-lying ground covers of many kinds were added to the front of the bed so as not to detract too much attention away from the trees. But taller herbaceous grasses and forbs found a place too, along the edges and the back of the slope, where they could dance in the breeze and dazzle in the waning sun. We brought in more dwarf conifers and maples to add to the bed, a tribute to the man's preference in plants. As the spring season turned to summer, the plants began to fill out more, and some even began to bloom. Each morning, I would watch the sun slowly cast a warm light over the garden, as if she were painting the whole earth in shades of shimmery gold. By the time she set, a slightly rosier hue would blush the leaves and fronds. And though we may need to wait several years for the garden to fill out in her maturity, it is in the fledgling state where we can observe the most exciting changes of the 200 or so different plants that have now taken up residence here. A month or so after we came to this land, we received a heartfelt note from the daughters of the man who had a passion for plants. I would be lying if I didn't tell you that the missive brought me to tears. Part of it read the following: Dear Summer Rain, Sonder, and Joey, we feel blessed that you will call this place home, and studio, and collective, and whatever else it may become. It was never home for us girls, but it was a place our parents loved, and the place where our kids experienced nature, found fossils, went fishing, got sucked by leeches, made campfires, kayaked, learned how to drive, and made memories with each other and with their grandparents. The nursery developed a reputation for having high-quality nursery stock. By this time, Dad realized that to be a viable business, he needed to have common plants in addition to the specimens he loved. He was passionate about the plants and every detail of the nursery. Cornell professors started bringing students there for field trips. Mom, ever the mom and grandma, would make brownies for the students. Customers would come and linger. It was park-like, peaceful, and beautiful. After our parents sold the business, they enjoyed their retirement, mostly by traveling and spending time with family. By this time, they had 8 grandchildren who all loved Poppy's Pond. They learned to fish. Dad would patiently teach them, get frustrated when they lost the lure or tangled a line, which Mom would then untangle. She also had the job of cleaning and filleting the fish, then dipping them in egg and Jiffy cornmeal mix before sautéing. Mom made sure the kids had a beach for swimming and had sand brought in from time to time. Nature always took over, though, and leeches loved the silt, so the kids learned to go deep as quickly as they could and not linger in the shallow part, and wear water shoes, and check for leeches when they got out. The kids would trek up to the top of the hill to a place they christened Fossil Forest and search for ancient treasures. They enjoyed exploring the ever-changing forest along the way, and some of their earliest memories are on golf cart rides with Poppy in his red golf cart. All 8 of them learned to drive on golf carts and loved that feeling of independence. So while we did not grow up there, we have a deep attachment. Why are we telling you all this? We know that you love this place. We know that you love plants. Maybe not the same plants as Dad, but you love plants. We are in agreement that this is how it was meant to be. We trust that you will find joy there, cultivating moments and memories. And we hope that our Dad is smiling as you do so.